through the parabolica.
Now, of course, the Schumacher car, the Benetton, certainly hasn't shown as well as the Jordan this year at any stage of the proceedings, hardly. And one of the problems that's supposed to be with this car is the fact that it's on the Pirelli tyres. And I think one of the first changes they're going to try and make next year is go back to Goodyear. Schumacher just clipping the chicanes, doing that nicely. You can see this double chicane. This is the bit that's important, to come off here quickly, because everywhere you come off these chicanes, you have a long ensuing straight. And that's the only place where you're going to be able to hang on to people and maybe...
He was 5th quickest in this free practice session this morning.
John, I think Schumacher is doing a lot for motorsport in Germany at the moment. But I mean, of course, he won the Belgian Grand Prix at Spa. But I mean, rumoured for next year are 3 more German Formula 1 drivers. It's Heinz-Harald Frentzen, who has signed a contract with the March team. Also, Michael Bartels, who comes from Formula 3000, and Marco Werner, who this year finished 2nd in the German Formula 3 Championship. Are all 3, or basically the other 2, are all both rumoured to have signed or on the verge of signing Formula 1 contracts. And basically, it's this man and the whole effort behind it.
Goes on to his first flying lap, and this is our first chance to see what the front runners can do in the hotter conditions that we've got now for qualifying at Silverstone. Into Copse Corner, 3rd gear through there, changes up, uses the full width of road on the exit, and now the run down towards Beckett's.
And let's just listen to this side of Schumacher in Beckett's. Well, Schumacher, in fact, reverted back to his race car, his prime car. He ran the spare car this morning. Then he got a revised airbox mechanism, but he's back into his regular...
Watch the red lights on the steering wheel to tell him when to change gear. Brake hard, down 3 gears. It's tighter into turn 1 than you think. Now be careful, you can run nice and wide on the exit, up the curve. It's very smooth, heading towards 3. Watch his left thumb, look. He's changed the ignition setting, 170 down to 110 for turn 3. Don't bring it fully to the left. Turn 4 ahead of you, just 75 miles an hour. Run up onto the curve. You're heading now down into the Dunlop hairpin. 175 at the bottom of the hill, down 3 gears, then another Front wheel locks up, no problem. He can take a late apex, play with the throttle pedal, maximum traction on the way out, turn 6 and 7. I wonder if he'll have to lift the throttle. Oh, just a little breather there, 160 miles an hour now. Bring it over to the right-hand side for turn 8. Bumpy under braking, turn in early, let the car run high, bring it over immediately to the lead. Take a lot of curb, the car jumps across the apex, now turn 3. Let the car begin to run to the outside, give it its head, building up speed, 155 already, a short straight towards turn 4, 175 before braking into a slight incline. Tight apex, back on the throttle again, 75 miles an hour, building up through turn 5, 135. Listen to Michael Schumacher just using the left foot on the brake to bring the speed down through 6 into 7 and 8, 110 miles an hour through the 2 apexes. There's the first, and sweeping immediately through the second. Another short straight, building up to 107. Heading down at 180 miles an hour into turn 1, it's slightly unsighted. The car will run wide, bring it back to the white line, and then flick immediately to the right, ready for turn 2. Down to just 55 miles an hour, braking, downshifting, turning in all at the same time. Listen to turn 3, easily full throttle, unlike the Michelin runners, 140 up to 175 miles an hour. The blind, turn 4, immediately hard back on the power, into 5, 80 miles an hour. Bring it in early, the car will start to walk towards the outside. Up to 140 once again before braking very hard into a first gear 50 mile an hour chicane. It's looking
see the two cars on the right. We passed straight away. Then after that, turn one, I'm having my teammate Nico in front of me. That he closed the inner line, so naturally I go for the outer line. Due to traffic reason, he has to brake a little bit earlier. I can use the free space pretty tightly between him and myself through turn 2 and 3. He's been pretty accurate in his behavior. Now slipstreaming Kubica, who is too quick for me down the straight. But still, you never know what happened at braking for turn 6, so I choose the outer line to try and take...